Right, on to the next area. As someone who's always liked fire Pokemon, this should be a nice one to go through.
Yes.
So we need portals to exit and to open paths to go some areas, but we just teleport to them anyway? Excuse me for finding that a bit ridiculous, even by this game's rather flexible standards. Such a shame that so many Fire-type Pokemon can only be grabbed around the mid to late game in most entries of the series, considering how long it generally takes for you to run into Fire Pokemon in the wild. I almost feel forced to pick a Fire starter in every game, and then I get a little too attached to that Fire starter to switch it out for another Fire type, so I don't really get to play around with any of the other Fire types in the game, despite really liking most of them. Hell, every damn time I run into a Fire gym, I just go, "Oh, you lucky bastard slash bitch. You can afford to have all Fire types." But as someone who's trying to become the regional champ, I'm kind of obligated to have a wider range of monsters. Okay then, 2 forms of the Fire-type starter from Generation 1. Why do I have the distinct feeling we're not going to see Ivysaur, Venusaur, Wartortle, or Blastoise? Ugh. Such a shame because I like those 2 other starters as well as Charmander. It's just that water types are already absurdly common in every generation, and grass types are weak to rather common birds. I know, the games are so easy it doesn't really matter what your team makeup is, you can win it all with just about anything. Still, I like plenty of other Pokemon and plenty of typings, so regardless of what mons I end up choosing, I always feel like there are some that deserve the spot on the team of 6, just based on looks alone, much less the abilities that come with them. Is it just me, or is it way too easy for Pokemon to evolve on this island? Add in the fact that this island is apparently a breeding ground for Kanto's legendary birds, and how docile even the most fearsome mons are here. I can't help thinking this island should be swarming with people. Or, at the very least, have notable rangers trying to prevent groups like Team Rocket from just snatching up everything on the island with ease. Maybe have more than just Professor Oak studying the island. Hell, he has an outright lab, but the game doesn't even hint that he has assistants of any kind. Darn. Should have taken one of the better pictures of Charmeleon near that open pit of lava before we just evolved him there. Or her. It's not like the franchise has even introduced breeding to the equation just yet. Hell, the only sexual dimorphism is between the 2 Nidorans, which are treated as 2 separate species in the first generation. Not that I ever bothered with breeding Pokemon. I had already been pretty traumatized by trying to do chocobo breeding in Final Fantasy VII, trying hard to figure out how to get more awesome chocobos when I was a kid, before getting so frustrated that I just stopped bothering with the damn yellow ostriches and never trying again in any of my later playthroughs of the game. What can I say? While I enjoy the idea of raising characters up from weaklings to badasses, I just couldn't enjoy trying to farm out specific traits in fictional creatures. Probably has more of an appeal to people who enjoy things like Animal Crossing than someone who's mostly focused on things that involve combat in one way or the other. Over the river and through the woods, the vacation from all continues, and good God, I can't sing.
Yes.
Certainly a drastically different environment from the volcano, or at least about as different as this game's engine can pull off. Yeah, that pickup Poliwag is probably going to be too small for Oak. And as a side note, That spiral on his gut suddenly makes me worry that there's a demon sealed inside that line of Pokemon. Damn you, Naruto, for making spirals seem menacing. So, our first two Pokemon in the area are things we can't get good photos of because we don't have the right gear for it. That's a little annoying, but I suppose the game designers had to throw in some incentives for people to revisit previous areas. Speaking of annoying, it's going to be more than a little awkward to get a good shot of the Shelders considering how they move. At least the Metapods feel like they're in an area that makes sense for them, unlike the Kakunas. Not that this game is trying all that hard to make sense, or at least not the kind of sense I'm used to trying to go for in various games. I should probably do more Nintendo games, or at least similar styled, relaxed ones at some point. I never really got into the especially old NES titles, but there are still a number of Nintendo games and franchises I would love to dive into. Yeah, that Shelder is definitely too small for Oak's liking. So we've got a polygon in a wall for some reason, and a switch right in front of it. And apparently the volcano was the only place where we didn't see a Pikachu so far. Seriously, there are plenty of other cute little bastards even in the first generation of Pokemon. And it's not like this game has all of the original 150. Well, that looks like the best shot of the crap ones I managed to get at that little guy. That's certainly a derpy look from Slowpoke. Never really understood why this guy is supposed to be a psychic, but hey, it is a kind of nice subversion of psychics being intelligent and all that. Yeah, none of the Shelder pigs are gonna pass muster, and I'm not even gonna bother throwing that Pikachu pig into the mix.
Yes.
Okay, wasn't expecting quite so good a score from Slowpoke. Hard to argue that that's a good pick, though I will call bullshit on Metapod, and certainly Psyduck's. I mean, for God's sake, its size should not have mattered. So we don't get the tool we absolutely need to get to the next area until we get a certain amount of points. I suppose that's the closest thing to a challenge this game's gonna really throw at us.
Yes.
That said, we're heading back to the beach. The apple isn't going to help us gain a hell of a lot more here, but it should at least make a few more Pokemon available to us. And besides, there's a rather easy pick of Pikachu we can do here. Not sure if that was a great angle, but it's not like we had a lot of time to work with that shot. Right. Of course throwing crap is gonna wake that lazy bastard up. think I just hit me out there for the sake of making me wrong about how many Pokemon in this game say their own name. It's amazing just how few Pokemon seem to give a damn about easy food. Hell, our infinitely spawning apples seem to serve better as rocks than as bait. Little odd, especially since it's easy to tell what it was meant to be, but so the cart stops if a Pokemon is in our way. I'd prefer more control over our movements, and more of a sense that the creatures around here actually give a damn about the random human just wandering about their habitats. Hell, I've seen zoo animals act more wild around humans than these supposedly wild creatures in an untamed land. I keep thinking there's something that's supposed to pop out of that bit of water before the end of the level. Ah well, while we didn't take too many pictures, I'm sure what we did catch was done well enough to gain us plenty of points. I can't help thinking the size of Kangaskhan in the first pick will get us more than the roar in the second and third ones. But maybe I'm misreading Oak.
Yes.
That shouldn't have gotten more points than a picture of Pidgey using Gust. Oh god damn it, Pikachu. Why did you have to outperform so many other pictures that easily? Bloody hell. Ah well, at least we've earned more than enough for whatever the professor was holding back from us.
Welcome back. Here is a present for you.
Of course it will, because that's all we do around here. So, you're not going to elaborate on the fact that this is essentially a gas grenade, and we're smoking the poor little things out of their hiding places. And excuse me for saying this, but the authority on Pokemon who's infamous for telling his grandson, "You don't care about your Mons enough, which is why you lost just before I arrived," shouldn't be gleefully telling us to essentially tear gas Pokemon in order to get more picture opportunities. Anyway, let's use this opportunity to open up a new area as quickly as possible, while taking a few nice pics along the way. Probably should have put more effort into getting a better shot of the Poliwags, but I'm more interested in Bulbasaur at the moment. Not the best possible picture of him, but it'll do for now. Well, that shelter pick has to be better than what we got last time. Okay, that's not forcing the Vileplume to pop up, and Slowpoke doesn't seem to flinch at all. Just what is in these smoke grenades anyway? Why does the smoke have to be purple? Kinda makes me think it's a poison of some kind. Probably because in Pokemon, purple is practically synonymous with the poison type, especially once the games went from monochrome to actually having colors. Well, I certainly hope that's close enough for Oak's liking. The hell? Does Psyduck know teleport or something? Because the way he zipped from one spot to another felt way too fast to be from him swimming down there. And that does it. We've got a new area to go to. You know, you have a point there, little guy. Why is there a random gate like that in a supposedly unpopulated island anyway? It's not like this is Jurassic Park, and humanity had to evacuate the island after the creatures got free. So now, I'm wondering why I wasn't. Similarly curious about that abandoned building where we saw all those electrodes. Hell, why am I completely unbothered by the fact that we dropped down a waterfall, and our cart didn't seem in the least bit bothered by the drop, and Eddie himself? I mean, for God's sake, you would have thought he would have a moment of having an oh crap face or something.
Yes.
How in the hell can you tell he's got a happy face when we can't even see his face? You seriously can't get much closer to a Porygon, so I have no idea why the size score is so low for this one.
Welcome back.
I don't believe you actually need to do research in order to learn that opening a path will take you somewhere.
Yes.